The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, everybody? How are you? Welcome into what used to be the start time for the Bostonian versus the Book. This is an earlier than normal, kind of a throwback day for us here. Dave, last day in Arizona. Matt Perrault, Dave Sharapan, BVB at Boston versus the Book on Twitter and YouTube live. Sports Grid on the replay. Weather is gorgeous. Back to the pool shot, Dave, I see. How are you on this Wednesday?
Yeah, we got some feedback from some people. And again, thank you for watching the show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. People said, where's the pool? Yesterday, they looked at the cactus. They looked at the golf course. They said, you want to see the pool if you're staying. Today's the last day I'm here. Travel day is interesting. I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
I'm really glad to be outside because trying to get all the women together, packed up, ready to go, not the easiest thing in the world. Throw in, hey, I got to talk to Perrault and do a show before we get on the road. Let's just say they were mothering both of us, okay? But we're used to it. We're good. And it's fine. So
we're lucky to be here, guys. So just FYI, say thank you to Jessica for saying yes to this show because she wasn't. I could tell that this is when you said, "Hey, could you do the show earlier?" I was like, "Uh-oh." I was like, "She wants to go. She wants to drive. She doesn't want to hang around until 12:30, 1 o'clock, whatever. She wants to get the hell out of there." And I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 4-hour drive you guys got ahead of you to head on back up to Vegas. But I mean, the weather is absolutely ridiculous when you guys come back. It's 86 degrees today. So
really?
It is absolutely perfect. I mean, my run today was amazing in 71-degree temperatures. Like, this has been the most incredible month of June. I don't know why I picked to do the hard 75 during this period of time, but it should be 100 degrees in the morning. It should be blisteringly hot.
Yeah, it's the universe, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of everything's kind of work out. You don't know why you do them, and you do them. You know, This has been one of those trips. We had 8 of the 10 Sharapan nieces and nephews that my dad and mom, created with the 5 of us.
Yeah.
And everybody's been together. It's been very loud. It's been very rambunctious. There's boys, there's girls, there's every age between 19 and 9, almost every number in between. It's great to see everybody. Don't get me wrong. We had Brother Doug on the show. We had Nephew Crosby on the show. It'd be good to hug them and say, we'll see you later and get on the road.
Do you have
quiet?
Do you have a night limit? Like when you start to get antsy, you start to get a little, because I do. I'm a 4-night guy. Once I get to night 5, I really have a problem. And this is the trip coming up is 7 nights. And I'm 5, 6, 7. I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to want to get on a plane and go home.
I don't have a particular, no.
I don't like 5 days. I don't like being gone for more than 5 days. It's just one of those weird things. I always put myself into the spot, and I was going to come back before the 4th of July, but coming to Vegas, the flights before the 4th were astronomical. So coming back on the 5th was dramatically cheaper to fly back on July 5th to Vegas than to fly in on July 3rd to Vegas. So I had to stay till after the 4th.
July 5th sounds like a perfect day to fly to Vegas and sign up for a football contest and reach out to the Brigade Proxy Service.
Good job there.
That sounds like a perfect day because flights to Vegas are expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know about days. I mean, like, I'm good. I'm a nomad. If I'm hanging and got stuff, I'll find stuff to do. I found people to talk to anywhere I go.
That's true.
2 years ago, we went to Brother Dan's house just to go to a Phillies game and play a softball tournament. We ended up staying back east for 3 weeks. My wife was like, "Are you ever coming back?" I said, "Well, no, we're making new contacts and we're doing a lot of things. So, no." So I'm good with kind of rolling with it. I don't know, man. You get around all the family and all that stuff with it. Like, you might be under 5 days before you're ready to
That
Be like,
happens,
"All
but
right,
I
I've had
mean,
enough."
we're breaking up the trip. So like, I'm spending 3 days in Boston, and then 4 days in Maine, and then 2.5 days in Boston. So I'm breaking it up a little bit. That'll make it that'll make it easier because it's a
That's
change
good.
of scenery. I just
Yeah.
don't like being in my mom's house. Like,
Right.
it gets my stepdad and I can tend to grate on each other, and we can start to get annoyed.
Right.
We're around each other a lot, and like, so it's sort of one of those things where it's, you know, I tend to like my own space. I tend to like my own time, and I get a little frustrated. I get a little, annoyed, and I want to get on a plane and go home. Like, I like things the way I like things. So, and I'm the same way on vacation when I'm in hotel rooms or whatever. It's just like, I'm a routine type of guy. So when I get really out of my routine, I can do the R&R thing for 3 to 4 days. But then when you get to day 5, day 6, I start to go, okay, let's go back. Like, I like my life, I like my job. Because people who hate their life and hate their job, vacation's the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
Well, we're fortunate enough that we don't really work. We don't have jobs the way everyone else has jobs.
Right.
We get to do this every day. We get to have conversations, and we get to do podcasts and appearances and stuff like that. So it makes it more like, oh man, I missed that. I want to go back to my job.
Right.
So that's where I kind of get into it.
We had a table yesterday at the, I think it was called the Mellow Mushroom.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it was called. That's the name of the place, pizza place. And there were 8 kids and 8 adults, 16 at the table.
Yeah.
I actually got up and they said, "Daddy, where you going?" My one daughter, Kelsey, said, "Go for a walk." Why? I just need to go for a walk. Like, because it was just the noise, the 18 conversations that were going on. I went outside and walked around Desert Ridge just to
Quiet.
You talk about it hitting you.
Yes.
It hit me at that table after about 2.5 hours. They're like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing. Nothing's wrong.
But
I'll be back." "Where are you going?" "I don't know." And I went for a walk. So
Yeah.
I understand your point.
Yeah.
You now have an excuse. You can go for a run.
Oh yeah.
Just say, "I got to go for a run."
Well, I'm doing that. Yeah, that'll be
you know.
a morning. I'm actually kind of excited to run at sea level to see what that's going to feel like. So after 2 months of running at
Right.
altitude, what's it like to run at sea level? So that's going to be fun to check that out. But I'm more excited to eat. Like, I'm counting it down. Like, when my mind starts getting angry with me about, like, I'm sore, I don't want to do this, I just start thinking about food. I'm like, I'm almost there. Like, we're so close to getting to eat what I want to eat, and I just cannot wait to eat what I want to eat. I'm gonna come back like 5 pounds heavier, and I'm totally fine with it. I'm just gonna absolutely eat and drink as much as I possibly can for a week. Like, absolutely, seafood. Eat my weight in seafood. I can't wait. But speaking of my home,
picture of you last night.
Which one?
With the sign up.
Oh yeah, we'll put that on the screen. Yeah.
Right. Your family's gonna be like, "Are you okay?" They're gonna ask.
No, they know. They've seen me lighter.
I know, but
they haven't seen me this. They haven't seen me this toned, but they've seen me this light. Like, I've lost this much weight. Like, I weighed 204 pounds today. So I started 64 days ago at 217. So, but the muscle weight is the difference. I've put on a lot of muscle since I started doing this. So it's been a lot of fun. But we'll put the picture up here in a second. But speaking of my home state, we're only talking about this because this is one of my greatest fears ever, and it's happening off the coast of my home state. So I figured we'd talk about it because everybody else is talking about it.
Yeah.
There is a submarine that was $250,000 a pop to get into. The third time it has gone to the Titanic. Well, they don't know where it is. There are multiple billionaires who are on this thing. There's the founder of the company who is on this thing. And they had 96 hours of oxygen when they went down. They believe that they are dealing with anywhere from 10 to 14, as of right now, 10 to 14 hours of oxygen. And there are reports that they are hearing SOS being banged on the side of the submarine.
Oh.
People have been kind of mean about this. Look, going to see the Titanic, I don't have an interest. It's a tomb. I don't really need to go down underwater, but this is my nightmare. Are you at all claustrophobic?
I mean, no. I feel like I've grown up and been in some tight spaces, but I don't like it. Who likes being in tight spaces?
I I really don't like it at all. Like when the idea of getting caught.
You don't
like,
even sometimes being like around like 4 people.
I don't like being confined in any way. Like going to sporting events, I don't like being in the middle row of like a 20-row seat. I don't like being in the middle. Going to a concert, I don't like being in the middle. I don't like being in the middle seat on airplanes. I don't like on elevators. If the elevator ever stops and I think about being stuck in an elevator, it like my alarm bells start like going off like really, really loudly. Like I really don't like this. So when I started looking around on this story, I was like, come on, man. 5 people are on this vessel called the Titan. There are multiple people who have a lot of experience, but they're 900 nautical miles east of Cape Cod trying to find this. 5 people, $250,000. And supposedly this thing has all sorts of like safety violations and like all sorts of things that were not up to snuff by any means. How would you feel about being trapped in a submarine underwater for multiple days with no food?
I'd be really mad at myself for making a decision to get on the damn thing.
I agree.
All right, you told me it was $250,000 to take this. Like,
yep,
I've seen people bet bad football teams for that amount of money, and I wonder, what are you doing?
Right.
Questioning your decisions. I'm going to pay $250,000 to get on a sub with a guy driving that I'm not sure about. We're going down to way low. We only got so much oxygen in case something goes wrong. I'd rather buy a nice chalet somewhere,
right,
and come and go as I please. Like, I'd rather do anything with $250,000 than go see the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. What
the Titanic is 12 that the Titanic is 12,500 feet down. This sub could go 13,100 feet down, but the pressure down there is insane. Like if you have any issues, this is why I don't think they're alive. Everybody thinks they're alive. I don't think they're alive. I think they're all gonzo. It would be incredible if it, and I hope they do all survive. And I hope this banging is something. But the PSI down there is incredible. And if you have any structural issues with that sub, you get scrunched like a can. And that's it.
When you fly, you know, you're sometimes when you're driving from here to Vegas or Vegas,
right,
you get that ear thing where the pressure.
Yep.
I don't like that. Going on a sub is on my never to-do list. Never.
I don't know if it's on my never to-do list, but it's definitely one of those things. So, like, I was going to ask you this question. Would you rather go to the moon or the bottom of the ocean? Because they're both very similar situations in terms of you can't be outside. The pressure is there. You can't breathe. Which one would you rather do?
Moon minus 50,000.
Even with the rocket ship going up.
I'd rather go up than down. I mean, I think that's when I look at it like that. I don't want to. What in the hell? You walked in water? Like, I don't want to see what's down there. Like, I like to go. I've gone snorkeling. It's fascinating. You know?
Okay.
I've never been scuba diving.
Right. I haven't either.
I could learn how to do it because I like to swim and I like to be under there in their environment in peace and quiet. I don't need to go down low where it could go so low and never come up again.
To me,
up.
I would want to be at a depth. I'd want to be at a depth that would allow me to, if it ever did come to it, I could get out. Right. Yeah, I could get out. So, like, I don't mind. I would go in a sub as long as it wasn't diving to depths that were so deep that I'm dead if I go outside. Like, if the thing opens up, I die. You do die if you go outside in space. Like, there is no like in between when it comes in space. So I think I'm more fascinated about the space, about the space above us, like the moon and the stars and the other planets. Yeah. But we know so little about the ocean. We're talking about the alien thing. Like, I think if there are aliens on the planet, I think that's where they live. They live in the ocean. Down. Yeah. Like way down where we can't go. They have the technology or their bodies can adapt to it or whatever it is, and they can live down there. Like, I don't believe like aliens are walking around us, but if there is life from other planets, it's in the ocean. It's down.
Man, this would be a good topic to have on the ride home. I'm going to ask all the kids this. Kids, if you're up and you're watching the show, come over. I'd like to have you on the show today. But what do you think more people will say? We'll ask the chat. If you guys are in there watching the chat. Moon or bottom of the ocean? I think moon.
Less people have gone to the moon than bottom of the ocean. So it's a more unique experience. I mean, it's more expensive. It's why SpaceX was created. They're going to have tourism to space. Like, this is all, this is part of this new era where I have so much money. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I'll buy experiences that nobody else can afford. So I'll go see the Titanic. I'll go to the, soon we're going to go to the moon. Like, the moon's going to be a vacation.
The moon is going to be a vacation. What did you guys do this summer? We went to the
moon. Yes. That's what's going to be part of it.
How much is that going to cost?
I think you can buy, I think Elon Musk is selling tickets on, you go up and you orbit the planet. I think that's like $250,000, and they're building trips to the moon, and it's like $1 million or so to go to the moon.
I was pissed off about paying for lunch over at the JW. We got a club sandwich and a couple burgers. It was $150, and I was like,
wow,
mad about that. $250 to go to the moon, and then you come back and you tell everybody you went to the moon. They're like, come on, you did not. No, I did. Look, I got pictures. We're in a spacesuit. Like, what? This is really happening.
This is really happening. Yeah, this is really. I mean, this is where. Now, I mean, this is how the guy created the company to go down to the Titanic, because he saw what was happening with space, and he said, all right, I'm a sub guy. I know how to build a sub. Let's do this. This is the third time he went down to the Titanic, which, by the way, needs to be talked about because it's a tomb. Like, the moon's not a tomb. Like, thousands of people died, and now we're going to go look around a graveyard and, like, gawk at it. Like, it's always been a little awkward whenever people were like, let's go look at the Titanic. Like, well, like, people died. Like, this is like, it's one of the worst tragedies in U.S. in the world in history, about people coming over from Europe to trying to come here to America.
Have you ever been on a sub?
A submarine?
In San Diego? Yeah. Have you ever been on? Have you ever gone and explored one?
No, I don't think I mean, I've snorkeled. I've been underwater. I've been in underwater. I've been in boats where I've been underwater. Right. Like the boat goes down, and I've been in the hull of the boat, but I haven't actually been in a sub. No.
So in San Diego, there's a great, I remember walking through a sub. I don't know the name of it, and I apologize.
Right.
But we were there.
Oh, you mean like on dry land sub?
No, yeah. Like,
oh, I've been on dry land sub. Yes. I think you meant like going in a sub. I've gone to like wreckages or old retired submarines. Yes. I've been there. Yes.
It's a claustrophobic.
It's tight. That's my point. Like, 5 people for multiple days. I don't know what I mean. While you start to have massive panic attacks, you have massive problems. You need someone to stay calm. You've got guys who have more money than anything, all of a sudden realizing their lives are going to end 12,000 feet under the, under the ocean. It sucks. I mean, I can't even begin. And there's no food. Like, you got to be underwater. I mean, how much water did you bring down there? A day's worth of water? So no food, no water, and you're hoping to conserve energy. And the more nervous you get, the faster you breathe. The more excited you get, the faster you breathe, and you take up more oxygen. So, like, it's bad. I don't particularly think this is going to end happily. It's my read on it. I could be wrong, but I'm like, these people are all gone, right? I mean, the stepdad, the big other story that's kind of being thrown around is that one of the guy's stepkids, one of the billionaires' stepchildren, went to a Blink-182 concert 2 nights ago and took a picture and said, my family would want me to be at the Blink-182 concert. So everyone's saying, you're counting your inheritance before the guy's even officially dead.
Oh.
Like, you're out at a concert taking pictures and posting it on social media saying my family would want me to be at a Blink-182 concert. Like, wait, what?
I think we had to bury the lead who was doing it at the Blink-182 concert. Here.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like look like a 35-year-old guy, so maybe there's some nostalgia. Right. People are going. I mean, I told the story about me and Blink back in college, so I would go see Blink-182 just for the nostalgia point of it.
Right.
first ever band I interviewed when I was a sophomore in college. So
I remember that. That's a great story.
So I would go. But if it in the chat, if you guys see any news about this, pass it along because
Please.
I would love to see it because we're literally counting down the hours for these people. So Chef Benny says, I would pick to go to the moon. The aliens are in the ocean. See? I would agree. I think the aliens are in the ocean. I think that's a fair point. All right, let's talk about what happened last night. And we'll start with the Rangers losing on a blocking the plate call that even the White Sox broadcasters were like, wait, what did they call? Tie game. You lose on this call. You made a point that this is something happens in softball all the time. I saw your tweet on this. This is a softball story?
Well, no, this is obstruction.
Right.
And making home plate safer for everybody.
Okay.
Has been, I almost got exited from a park at a tournament because our catcher made that exact play that catcher made last night.
Okay.
And the base ump came in and held the arm up and said that was obstruction. I said, there's no way that was obstruction. She fielded the ball and did a swipe tag, and the whole back end of the plate was available. I said she was not anywhere close to blocking that. And we went back and forth, and I said, you're misinterpreting the rule.
Oh.
So this has been going on for a couple years now within, just baseball or softball, period, because they have to make it safer. We don't want any more Buster Posies getting their knees ripped out.
Right.
Okay, I get that. You can't just run 100% full steam ahead and barrel over a catcher. But the ump on the field last night,
they called it
in
safe.
Chicago, called it correctly.
They called it safe, and he was overruled, which caused Bruce Bochy, the manager for the Rangers, to call it one of the absolute worst calls I've ever seen. And that guy's seen a few in his day. And he got run. And Bruce Bochy can't walk all that well. So to have him walk out there and then to get tossed was a scene.
I love Bruce Bochy, period. I mean, apparently his head size is 8.
Oh, my.
He's got the biggest head in baseball. He's a veteran manager. He don't say much, but when he says something, it carries weight, right?
Yep. 100%.
What is the purpose? I mean, the discussion is about, yes, blocking the plate in the call, but the bigger discussion and why we put it on the rundown, I knew you would do it. That's why I sent you that thing last night. But what are we doing with the replay? Like, what in the hell? We got the call right. It's bad enough when they get the call wrong, they replay it, and they back the guy on the field and keep the call wrong. That's right. He got the call right.
And then overruled it.
What are we doing?
He said, Bochy said, it's absolutely one of the worst calls I've ever seen, and it was done with replay. I just don't get it. I don't get how many times they'll try to explain it. You can't do that in that situation. It's a shame. It's embarrassing, really. There was never any contact with the catcher. It was a sweep tag. I don't get it. I really don't. Again, I'm shocked. Jonah Heim, the catcher, did a great job there. The throw took him to the left a little bit. Sweep tag. I'm lost on this one. That's a tough one to take. They lost the game 7-6.
It cost them the game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, when a call just costs you a run, that's one thing. It cost them the game because of when it happened. And immediately, you know what the gambling social media does. They turn it into, look at this. They wanted them to win. They did this. They did that. We're opening a ballpark across town in Wrigley Field in a week. It's too close for comfort when you start to get these calls like this, is it not?
Nothing gambling wise popped in my brain nefariously, other than if you had the Rangers money line, I felt for you. That was the only thing that, I don't think it was a nefarious call. I just think it was a dumb interpretation of the rule by replay, and it made no sense. And the replay official is going to have to justify it and going to have to show why they ruled it the way they ruled it, because the guy on the field had the call right. Like, part of the problem with replay is that the umpires oftentimes are afraid to make calls because they know they've got backup. So if they get it wrong, they got backup. This was the reverse. This was the umpire making the correct call on the field, and then and then challenging it, going back to replay, and replay saying, yeah, sorry, that's the wrong call. That was blocking the plate. Count the run. He's safe. That's the problem. That normally doesn't happen. The way that it's not supposed to go like that. You're not supposed to overrule the call on the field unless there is clear evidence. And I don't know how in the world you look at that and say, okay, that plate was being blocked, and thus we have to go ahead and award the run.
You saw it. I watched it. I don't know how many times. And I'm doing it like with my wife, and she's tired, and she's like, "Would you stop? I don't really care anymore." But I'm rewinding, and I'm going, watch the catcher. He puts his foot on a part of the plate on purpose to allow, because you used to teach the catcher to put their foot on the side of the plate, and their shin guard would block.
I was taught to drop. Yeah, that's how I was taught. I was taught to drop, catch it, drop the knee right down, and essentially square yourself up. So if they're going to have to score, they're going through you. Like that's how I was taught. And I was taught when you see the knee get dropped down, sorry, Will, blow the guy the fuck up. Like that. I mean, that's how I was taught. That's why I've been playing baseball. If you see the ball beat you and that knee comes down and hits, light them up, like straight up, drop your shoulder and light them up. That was how I was taught. I was a catcher, so I got it on both sides. But that's the game. I like that about the game. That was fun. That was the one time baseball felt like football. You just go ahead and run right through the guy. I loved it because I did it the other way. Because I had two things when I was playing. I had two crazy. I wish we had YouTube and video when I was playing, because I jumped over a catcher once.
Okay.
And I came back and
did you make it? Were you safe?
Yeah, I was safe. And I did the same. And I did the same thing on second base when I jumped over a second baseman when I was trying to steal second. I jumped over a guy. Oh, the kid's having a problem, huh? Whoa. Kid, okay? That was a squeal. And the time I jumped over the second baseman, I felt bad. The kid was crying. He was so embarrassed by the thing. He started crying. But the home plate one, like that was always I love place at the plate. Like that's one thing where everyone stands up in the ballpark. You see the ball coming in. I loved, as a center fielder, I loved going parallel to the ground. Get that crow hop going, and you throw it all your might, and you go parallel, and you're laying there on the ground waiting to see if the catcher's got it. You know, that one hop right into the glove, and that bang play. That's one of the best plays in the sport. And now we're trying to do what to it? Kill all of it? I mean, I don't know. I know it stinks when a player gets hurt, but that's part of it. Buster Posey was one guy.
It was, but he was one of the best players, and that guy shredded his knee. I mean, that's on Buster to move out of the way. Yes, I think a little bit, but
I don't know.
I like it. I don't want no 14-year-olds running over no other 14-year-olds. It happened.
I do.
It happened.
Let's go.
With Kelsey once. She got trucked. I mean, and we had a teacher like, look, if that ever happens again, if you deliver the blow,
right,
and as the catcher, you deliver the blow when you get the ball.
I was
don't have the ball.
You're the
get
ball.
Out of the way.
You grab the ball, hold your glove, so you have the ball in your hand. You hold the glove over the top of your hand with the ball in your hand, drop the knee, and when they come at you, bang, you hit, you smack them with the glove in their face. And I don't know. I'm 46. The whole world's totally different than for me anymore.
Everything's different.
I think that's awesome. I think that's absolutely a play that should be in sports because it's a rarity. Kid gets hurt. Okay. You're playing a contact sport.
Softball and baseball is not a contact sport.
It is. It can be.
It's not.
It can be.
It's
yes.
not.
It can be. It's one of the best plays in sports. Is that home plate?
On a professional level, that's fine.
Oh no, I think on every level. I'm good with it.
You can't have kids running over kids because then dads get involved, the moms get involved. Everybody wants to fight.
And you know what? That's the problem with society. Okay, is that mom and dad ruin everything because mom and dad just don't see it for what it really is. My kid got a hit. Yeah. Is he okay? Yeah. Learned a lesson? Sure.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah.
We are trying so hard to keep our kids from failure. It drives me crazy. Like failure is such a beautiful thing. Losing is such a beautiful thing. Drives me nuts.
Well,
You have to lose. You got to get hit. You got to get bloodied. You got to get hurt. You learn in that moment. You don't do that again. Stick your hand in the oven. Won't do that again.
right.
They're all lessons in life that we're trying to placate by sticking these pillows around our kids at all times. I don't want my daughter to get hurt ever, seriously, but I want her to get hurt in some ways, physically, emotionally. You'll learn when that happens. As a parent, you got to let that happen.
I can tell you this. After the first time, the only time that Kelsey got trucked at home plate,
Yep.
she never got trucked again. And she delivered a couple blows a couple times that settled all discussions. And the ump looked at, because the other team was like, oh, that was this. And the ump went, what do you want her to do?
Right.
She's out. Kelsey come in and I give her a fist bump. I'm like, you good? She's like, I'm good. I said, okay, now you know. Sometimes you got to get punched in the face to learn how to play defense and hit back. I mean, Jokic said it after the NBA Finals, right? The process: you learn to lose, then you lose, then you learn to lose, then you try again and you fail, and then when you fail, you get better and you practice, and then maybe you win. That's life.
Anyone ever listens to this show, the thing that I would love if I ever what's your platform to stand upon is that losing is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. You use it for a weapon. You use it for motivation. You use it for energy to keep yourself going. Burn that fire that losing brings to you because it sucks. And the idea that we're going to keep people from it and that's going to make a better society or that's going to make a better life for a child is complete nonsense. It is absolute baloney. Now, look,
it's okay to lose.
Yes. You learn.
Not everybody wins. You have to lose
to
learn how to win.
And that makes the winning so much better. It makes it taste so much sweeter. I mean, look, the best line Conor McGregor is a very interesting dude. He's got a very tough life at the moment. He's doing a lot of stupid stuff in his world. But you either win or you learn is maybe the best line I've ever heard someone say in sports.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
I love that line. You either win or you learn. And I love that because that's so true because you learn nothing when you win. Nothing. All it does is feel good. You lose, you go back to the drawing board. You start to analyze. You start to look at what happened. Why did I make that decision? What could I do differently next time? How do I get better? What do I get to work on? And hopefully you have people around you that can help you see that because oftentimes you're blinded by the anger, pain, suffering, stress, whatever it might be, anxiety that comes with it. But man, is it a beautiful thing. It can be absolutely beautiful. But right now with involving this call, bro, awful. Just absolutely awful what happened last night. And baseball's got to be very careful with it. Can't have replay like this.
You can't have replay be the problem. Replay needs to be the solution. And you talk about losing. They're losing that battle a lot of times when this happens. And immediately somebody goes, they're not even using the replay right. It's a work in progress. It's better now than it was. It just, if you're going to use it, you can't miss. This was a miss.
Chris Covey just said, since when does this show start on time? That's great.
Well,
appreciate
rewind,
it.
Catch up. Thank you.
It happened. All right, your Pirates are playing right now. They're losing.
Yeah,
they've lost 8 straight games.
Disaster.
What do we do here? How do we break this? I faded your team today because of both thoughts. Bet the streak, bet the sweep.
Yeah, all of it. And I mean, they can't hit or score. They got shut out again yesterday.
They scored 1 run today. They got 1 run. It's 3-1.
So we're off the schneid there.
Yeah. It's 5-1 now. Oh no. 5-1 Cubs.
Keep betting. You got to keep betting the streak. This one may run into. They go to Miami. They go to Miami next. So this is a 4-game set in Miami. We'll continue to talk about them. I don't know. This is one of those ones. I'm going to call up Davis. I'm going to try to add more power to the lineup. How about some base hits? This is just, it's bad. It's bad. This is one of those stretches where, again, we knew April was above expectations. This is falling deeper and deeper down. I'm dropping in the wild card standings. It was a fun run to be near the top. And now I'm going, oh, no. we got a worse record than the Red Sox. Now we got a worse. I'm gonna have to hear about this. My little run with the Pittsburgh team is gone.
What did you have when you were playing? Did you have any slump busters or anything superstitions to get out of a bad streak?
No, I was so myopic with when I pitched, it was just the inning by inning. When I played in the field, it was just at bat by at bat. And I tried to coach the kids that way too. Even hockey, it was shift by shift. Just win the shift. If we win more shifts than them, we win a period. If we win more periods than them, we're going to win a game. So it was weird, and I don't know why I did that when I was young. So I didn't really have slump busters. Why, you got a good slump buster?
No, I never did either. I mean, I always I wasn't able to look at the big picture in that way. Like for me, baseball wise, it was always, well, I'll snap out of it. I always had the confidence that it was going to end. Like I knew this was not going to be continuing. But when my team was losing a lot, and it wasn't just me personally, I was always trying to motivate in some form or fashion. Like I was always trying to be positive, but oftentimes it didn't really pan out that way.
Right.
I was the rah guy. I was like, let's go. We can get him again. Don't worry about it. Shake it off. Like I was that kid.
Yes.
But you be down 3-0 or 4-0, whatever. It's kind of okay. At some point, people were like, we're getting our asses kicked. Stop talking. We lost.
We went to California once with the kids, and we played friendlies. 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, and drove home. We didn't score a run. The entire 6 games. We got smoked in a couple. We were competitive, lose 2-0, 3-0.
Right.
One game we lost 15-0. Had to stop and stepping off the bases. And we got to practice, and I said, we always had the best thing about the weekend kind of thing. We would call the kids up and let them each say one thing
right
that, the weekend in review. And, they were like, Coach Dave, what's your best part about the weekend? I said, that it's over. It's done. I said, forget about it. And one of the kids said, let's flush it down the toilet.
Oh.
So that's what we did. We flushed
Oh,
it.
I like that.
And that was the expression. It's just like a really, bad poop or whatever. You want to just flush it down,
be done.
Watch it swirl down the drain, and it's gone. And we got a new day. So, because when you're trying to talk to we had 15 teenage girls. It was the end of the world when we had a weekend like that.
Yeah.
It's done. The ability to turn a loss and just go to the next day is, that's life, right? You're doing it every day. You have workout days that are bad days, and you're like, man, I don't want to do this again. Get up the next day, you do it, you have the best workout you ever had.
Yeah, that's true. That's the one. My legs on certain days have been absolutely shredded. I haven't been able to run. I run for 6 straight. I've learned that after 6 straight days of running, the 7th day, my legs are like, I don't care how much your mind says you want to do it. We ain't doing it. We're walking. We're walking the 3 miles today. We're not running the 3 miles today.
Right.
So I've learned that, and maybe that's just me being 46 and now getting up in age and my body not being able to handle the same that it used to. And I'm not trying to kill myself here, so I'm trying to be able to keep going over every day.
Can you imagine training for a half marathon or a marathon?
Yeah, I could. I don't think I'll need something, but so I run 9.5 minute miles. So put it at 10 for fun, right? So if I'm running a half marathon, I'm running for 12. I'm running for an hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes, 90 minutes of running. I don't have that time during the day to do that. That's a lot. So, I don't know.
How would you go 90 minutes of running and not tweeting or answering a text?
That's not
what we're doing. We're literally getting.
That's not hard. As I said, I told you, I have notifications in my head. So someone texts me, tweets, notifications, it all gets read to me in my ear. So I get it all.
I'm never doing that.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that.
When I'm running, I get everything when I'm running. So if I have to stop, I can stop and answer something if I need to. But that's not my concern. My concern is just the actual doing it for that long, for 90 minutes. Running for that long does not sound entertaining. I may go and do a 10K. I run a 5K every day, basically 3.1 miles. So now it's 6.2 is a 10K. So I might do that. I might train for a 10K because there's the rock and roll marathon that has a 10K before it.
Yep.
So I might do that. That's at the end of the year. That's in December. So I might go and run 6.2. I could see myself training for that. I don't think I see myself training for 12 and a half. And it's funny because I'm hearing David Goggins in my head because there's literally a chapter in David Goggins' book when someone asks a guy who just did a running thing the same question. Goggins says, "So what do you do next?" And he was like, "I don't know. I don't really want to do a half marathon." He goes, "Why not?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't." He goes, "What? Why not?" I don't want to have the time. That's not an excuse. That's stupid. You can do it. Do it. Like Goggins literally browbeats this guy into running a half marathon, saying like, you're checking out. So as you're saying that to me, I'm hearing the audiobook in my head when Goggins is like, why not? Why can't you run a half marathon? Why don't you want to run a half? You could do it if you wanted to. Go do it. So I don't want to do it, but I don't know. I mean, I'll figure. All I know is I just need to get to the 29th. I get to the 29th and I'm a happy person. I just need to get to June 29th. We're down the stretch. We're 8 days away from this thing being done, and I will have completed 75 days of kicking my own ass. So we're getting close.
That's awesome.
LSU sent Tennessee home yesterday. So I bet LSU the Vols. I had a future on the Vols, so I hedged on it. So I came out clean there. I have a future on LSU. They're facing Wake tonight. Paul Skeens is their ace stud. Could be a Pirate. Could be the first pick in the draft. Do you throw him on 3 days rest or you throw him tomorrow? Do or die tonight. LSU has to win today to beat Wake to stay alive. If Wake wins.
No, they have to beat him today,
twice.
And then they have to beat him tomorrow.
But there is no tomorrow unless you win today.
And I used to say this all the time when we had to beat a team twice. We got to play this game like it's our game, our last game. We'll figure out tomorrow.
Right.
I say to him, if you're ready to go, you're going. I give him the ball. I want my guy out there. I mean, if he tells me he's ready, he's ready. If he's not, we go with the next guy and say, listen, get Paul the ball.
Can you steal 3 innings with the starter and then throw him and have him be there for the last 6? Because it's minus 145 right now on Wake Forest. So the line tells me the books believe that somebody else is starting for for LSU versus Wake.
Yeah. I would guess someone else is starting too. That's like, I would make that line just like that. I think that's playing the defense that you have to play.
Okay.
And again, I mean, I don't know. The guys in the room don't know. The books don't know. You're putting a lineup going. This is what we know. Put the lineup. I would say to the kid, I would not start him. I'd say, let's get Paul the ball, literally all day today. I'm like, let's get Paul. Tell the shortstop, hey, tell the pitcher, keep him motivated. Let's get Paul the ball tomorrow. We get our guy, we get our spot with him on full rest. Now we got a real shot at winning, but we can't even do it unless we win today. I don't know. This is the fun of these tournaments. I love this double.
Well, I mean, you have a legitimate ace, right? So you would assume games 1, 4, 7 is when you throw in a 7-game series. But it's the time frame between the games that really is the problem. Because if you throw him, you're going to throw him, obviously, in either one of these games, if not today, tomorrow, if LSU wins. You won't be able to use him until the 3rd game of the College World Series. So, like, your ace, this is where depth is such a big deal when it comes to these tournaments. And what happens in Omaha is that you can't just have one stud pitcher. And now LSU doesn't. They've got multiple. But that one stud pitcher can get you to the championship round, but he may never pitch because you could lose 2 games and be done.
There is no championship round if he does pitch or he doesn't pitch. So, I mean, like, I think you go with the best guy you got, the most healthy guy you got, and we'll see. This has been a great College World Series, has it not? I mean, this has been rejuvenating for a lot of people that aren't watching anything. There's been no, we got rid of the Stanley Cup. We got rid of the NBA Finals. It's pretty much the spotlight. It is the spotlight for college sports, and it's been great.
Well, I think the difference this year versus other years, because I've been watching this thing every year since 2004, the number of major league ready talented pitchers this is hearkening people back. I've talked to people in Omaha, like they remember Roger Clemens pitching for Texas. Okay, they remember seeing Robin Yount play. I think he might have played for Texas too. But they remember these like household names who went to the big leagues very quickly and became superstar, all-star, Hall of Fame caliber baseball players. The kids playing this year, Florida, LSU, Tennessee, and Wake Forest are loaded with Major League Baseball prospects. So the watching a kid throw 100 miles per hour in college is exciting. Like that is ridiculous. Like you just don't see that very often.
I think a lot of kids in certain situations are staying in college longer rather than going to the minor leagues, leaving early.
Right.
It's making college baseball elevate the talent. They're there on Showcase now in Omaha. It's excellent. I remember, guys used to come right from Omaha. Next week, you'd see them in the big leagues. It wasn't all the time, but
it did happen. Yes, it did happen. And I think it's going to happen this year.
Went right from Oklahoma State, right?
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, thank you. I didn't know which way. Yeah.
Well, no, that was Robert Ventura, but he went literally right from Oklahoma State, to the big leagues. There was just, you saw it happen more often than not. So.
Oh yeah. It's going to be. There's a kid. Wake Forest is a kid from my hometown. The kid from Duxbury, Mass, and a kid from Andover, Mass. And I was like, what the? So I asked on Twitter, I was like, why does Wake Forest have all these kids from Massachusetts? And somebody said it's their pitching lab. These kids are now they're looking at what Wake Forest has done. They've created this scientific pitching, platform where all these big arms are wanting to go to Wake Forest because of how they're looking at the biomechanics of pitching. Why do kids get hurt all their time? They're out of whack, their elbows, their shoulders. So these kids with big arms are going to Wake Forest because it's keeping them healthier, longer, and they're understanding their bodies and their delivery and the motion and the exercises needed to keep themselves going into professional baseball. It's wild. I was like, how?
Not to mention, Wake Forest is a good school.
It is a good school. It's a very good school. It's a small school. It's a very, I couldn't figure it out. Like I was like, wait, there's multiple kids from Mass who left New England.
If you get one kid that goes and believes in it, he goes and sells the program. You can start pooling the best kids from a very probably baseball rich area. I told you, I met just in that pool right behind me. Met a guy yesterday named Dave Ammons who coached kids, played baseball with Ron Darling. Back in the day, was part of this team in New England that 16 kids were drafted into professional baseball from not far from the town you grew up in. And I was like, what did you guys do? He's like, we practiced in the gym in the winter. That's what we did. We just were really good. We had really good pitching. And
now,
they didn't travel all over the
what year was that? Do you know?
Late 70s.
Oh, okay.
80s.
So now what they do is they have taken these converted old buildings in and around the Merrimack Valley, a lot of them in Lowell and in Lawrence, Mass, and they have created indoor baseball facilities.
They're all over the place. There's a couple here in Vegas. That was good. That was going to be my next career move after the book.
Wow.
One of these places because, we're going to try to get people in and do all that stuff. They're unbelievable. They're fantastic, and they're used 365.
Yep, it's that they have multiple mounds with guns that are set up. They have multiple. A lot of them have really in-depth video camera systems that will go ahead and break down your pitching motion for you. But also they've got batting cages and they've got the ability to watch your swing and swing planes and launch monitors and all this crap that's ridiculous now for indoor. And that's how they keep, that's how Massachusetts produces a lot of really high talented baseball players because there's a monster commitment at the parent level to take these kids and have them be working on baseball year round. And it's the sport. It's that pocket of the country is still a gigantic producer of baseball talent just because of the commitment. Like the South, it's all about football, right? They put all the parents, they put all the commitments, all the money into football academies and football camps. Well, the same thing happens, but it happens in the Northeast with baseball. Keeps you alive.
It's happening in all different sports all over. It's. I just tweeted about that too this morning. The cost is prohibitive. It's crazy. Mahaffey just came into the thread, was talking about the cost of his kids playing hockey when he moved to Vegas. before the Knights and then since the Knights.
Oh,
And
wow.
everything's
Really?
tripled in cost. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's not getting more affordable. It's getting less affordable. More
Oh, that
expensive.
stinks.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. So it's getting like how it is around the country, like everywhere else.
Correct. Yes.
Ugh.
Yes. It's very, very expensive. Youth sports in general. I mean, we lived the life. We did it. We paid the dues. We traveled. We did all that. And, the result isn't always a scholarship. The result is more often than not a kid's coming to their senior year and saying, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to play sports anymore. I want to have a life. I want to hang out with my friends. It's such a hard balance. But yeah, this is the good part of all of that. Kids get to college, they're playing. It's high level talent. It's literally, kids that are going to have a future in baseball. It's going to be a hell of a baseball game tonight. Do you like a side?
I think I'm going to bet Wake Forest tonight because I think if I need to find out what the plan is for LSU. If they're not going to throw their ace, I'll bet Wake to hedge on my LSU plus 450 future that I've got.
Right.
And just make it back because then if it happens again, I'll bet the other side. If LSU wins, and I can bet LSU tomorrow. So it's
100%. You should do that.
Yeah. So
100% because the price isn't that expensive.
Right. So
you're not laying 3-1. You're laying 140.
Right. See, this is what happens. Madeline is calling me during the show.
Right. Do you understand how many texts I just got? They're trying to decide where breakfast is before we go. And I'm like, you guys know I'm doing the show. I'm right over by the pool. And
Maddie,
won't even come over.
We're on the show today, Madeline.
Hi, Maddie.
Say hi to Mr. Dave.
Hi.
We're on the air. I'll call you back afterwards. All right. All right. Bye, hon. What are you doing, goofball?
They don't know.
Yeah, technically we're on a little earlier than we normally are on. So she may have thought 11:30 is when we normally go on. She tried to catch me before we went on. But speaking of where my daughter is, which is in Boston, you're in Arizona. Any word down there about the Suns trading DeAndre Ayton?
Oh, we're going to go eat at the local place. I'll ask around there. No, I saw this in the rundown, and I thought, I can't wait to hear what you say about this because there's a lot of question marks about him and
huge
what
questions
went on, right? And I don't know if he's ready for the Boston media and the questions and everything that will come with that if he doesn't produce.
Right.
As a Celtics guy, as somebody that's, from Boston, do you want him on the squad? Oh, you're shaking your head no. You already knew. I
don't. So the first rumor that popped up this morning was the fact that Jaylen Brown was going to be signed and then traded, which cannot happen, by the way. So the person who's pushing that rumor out about Jaylen Brown, it can't happen. Jaylen Brown can't sign the max contract and then get traded. He has to wait a full season and then he can get traded. So that is not happening, FYI.
Yeah.
They could move him, but they aren't going to move him with a sign and trade. They would move him before they would pay him. So if Boston's going to pay him what he is due, which is a big contract, supermax contract, you're not going to trade him. You can't trade him for a year after signing him to that deal. The DeAndre Ayton situation, supposedly the Suns want Robert Williams. They said, okay, we'll give you Ayton in his big contract, but we want Robert Williams and other things. The Celtics allegedly countered with Malcolm with Brogdon and 2 first-round picks is what they countered. Suns supposedly said no to that. This is going to be wild because Ayton doesn't work anymore in Phoenix. He was a cancer last year. They've made the trade for Bradley Beal. They need to free up cap space. Otherwise, they're going to have you and me on the bench playing basketball for Phoenix.
I ain't playing basketball for Phoenix. Not even for the league minimum.
So they're going to have big problems unless they can free up some cap space somewhere. So that would be trading DeAndre Ayton, who obviously was a major distraction last year. Big problems with the coaching staff and the front office and everything else.
But they blew it all out. It's all new coaching staff.
They
still don't want him, or they just floating this out there?
I think there's a lot of bad blood there between the organization and Ayton.
Oh.
I think the organization is really they've had it. I think the fan base has had it with him, and I think they want a fresh start. They want a big 3. They don't want a big 4. So But they know, I mean, if they go get Robert Williams, that's a tremendous role player who knows his role, is going to play defense, block shots, and that's it. Ayton wants to score. Ayton gets ticked off because the ball doesn't go his way. He gets frustrated, then he sulks, and then he sulks for like a week and a half. So he gets a big game and then gets mad, and then he's gone. So I don't want him in Boston. I think your read about the media is correct. I think they would torch him. I don't think he would survive. And I also don't want a malcontent going in with a young head coach and a team that is still, very live to win the Eastern Conference. I don't want to upset the apple cart at all, to be honest. I want to leave it alone.
I'm thinking about it. You're thinking about it from the Boston end. I'm thinking about it from the Phoenix end.
Okay.
If I'm Phoenix, I mean, you can go look in the sportsbook odds and see who the favorite is to win the Western Conference and to win the NBA championship. I got to beat Denver, okay? I need somebody in the middle that's going to stop or at least slow down Joker and make them change what they do.
Yep.
I ain't worried about Boston. I ain't worried about nothing in the Eastern Conference. How do we beat Denver? That's our only measuring stick. I used to say that every year about the Steelers. Steelers, you got to win your division, but you got to figure out a way to beat New England. And they never could figure out a way to beat the damn Patriots. It would always be the Lucy with the football explanation that you gave. We look like we got there. We go in. We're 6-point dogs. We lose by 14 points, and I'm aggravated. Thinking the same thing with the Suns.
Yeah.
The Suns know, I think, and again, I don't know because nobody knows shit, and that was for you, Will. That was loud. I tried to say it with passion. I don't know if I think Phoenix doesn't feel like Ayton's can, even with Vogel and the new, they don't think he's the guy to get them past Denver. So
I think they want a Robert Williams type, though. I think they want a defensive-minded.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. I get why Phoenix asked about him, but Boston's like, get out of here. We cultivated this guy. We waited 4 seasons for this guy to turn into what he is.
Right.
He's
we're going to get his good years here, right?
We're not giving you. You're not taking this up that we developed him. We built him, and now you get him when you need him. Forget it. That's why Boston's like, get lost. It's not a good trade to go get DeAndre Ayton. Even though Ayton is way more talented, it would change the way Boston would play because Robert Williams is not an offensive-minded guy. He's a go-get-the-ball rebounder, putback guy. Ayton, you run plays for. Ayton, you would set him up. You want to have guys on the block. You'd want to give him the ball, clear out, let him score. That's not how Boston plays. Boston is a perimeter-oriented team built upon the 2 wings. So that's why I don't think it works, because it changes Boston entirely.
I mean, if you get Ayton, though, is he the next kind of iteration after Horford? I mean, Horford's got to be close to the end. Huh?
He's very close to the end. Boston wants to send him on the trade, but Phoenix doesn't want him. So yes, Ayton is an upgrade to the position for sure.
Yes.
It just, I don't think it's the right upgrade for Boston. I think the point guard position is one. Marcus Smart getting traded this offseason, I think could really happen. There's a lot of talk about it. I think Boston wants a more offensive playmaking type of guard than Marcus Smart.
I can't wait for you to go back and be back in the crucible and listening to all the non-stop Celtics stuff. Aren't you excited about it?
I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to turn on Boston Sports Talk Radio and be like, I can't even. Like, I just can't even. Like, this
you all last one day.
I'll go crazy. I will absolutely just shake my head at the nonsense that gets spewed.
I can't
be like, okay, guys, like, sure. And like the biggest problem I'm going to have with Boston sports media is the gambling talk now that they're trying to do. Because they're supposed to do it, and like they feel like they have to do it, and they have nobody who I've listened to every show. They have shows being hosted by friends of mine who I know for a fact, like where I was 7 years ago, they aren't even on that level as where I was when it comes to gambling. Like they are doing this show because it's a paycheck, and someone said, "Hey, do you want to host a gambling show?" And they're like,
right.
Sure. They don't know anything about it. They've rarely ever been in a book in their entire life, and now here they are. So
now, does that bother you now? Because
it doesn't really bother me, but like, are you trying to learn? Like, where are your learning curve? I was very lucky because I lived here. Okay.
Yeah.
The people who are going to educate a Boston media type in Boston, you're either going to go talk to Jimmy and Johnny and Smitty at the bar and learn from them. Okay. or you're going to talk absolute bullshit out of your ass constantly and know nothing because you think you're going to say all the catchwords, all the keywords. You're going to say the reverse line movement. You're going to say all this crap that you think it sounds like you know what you're talking about, but you really don't know what you're talking about. So, before I sat with you, I sat with Robert Walker. Before I sat with Robert Walker, I sat with other people here in the books to ask questions. Like I've had a slow and steady process to get to the School of Sharapan. But I had it before you. I had it with other people who I was hosting podcasts with, who were guys making numbers. I was in Risk's room. I saw different Risk rooms when I was doing podcasts, and I was lucky. U.S. bookmaking was going on. I was in their room whenever I went in there to do podcasts. I sat there and watched their operation as to how that they do it. I was laughing, going like, "Wow, this is what a Risk room looks like. This is tiny. Like, what is going on?" I couldn't believe it. But they're running 4 states out of one room in Vegas, and I was like, "This is crazy." Yeah. But that's how I was able to learn. There's media members in Boston that will never have that experience. They will never be in a Risk room because the Risk room's in Gibraltar. So they're not going to be able to sit there and watch how the sausage.
I don't think the station's going to send them to Gibraltar.
No,
I'm going to say no. It's probably not going to happen.
So it's like, are all they care about? One of the things that's been so fascinating as I developed as a gambling content person is a lot of people, the hiring people, the people who own the platforms and the companies and the websites.
Yep.
They only care about if your bets hit. Do your bets hit? The methodology, the thought process behind it, they don't really care. So what happens from that is that you end up seeing the roller coaster ride when they're hot, everyone loves it. But when the downturn comes, you can't explain what's going on. It's just, I'm losing. Oh no, I'm losing. Versus knowing that process. I used to always be so fascinated, 5 years ago, when Todd Furman would talk about the process of trusting your process. Yep. I was like, what the fuck does he mean, trusting your process? I constantly was like, I just look at the line and make my bet. What does that mean? Well, the more you do it and the more that you live it every single year, you start to realize what your process is. You start to see what has worked in the past. You go back to that season 2 seasons ago where you did really well, and you go, man, I'm not making the same type of bets I was making before. I'm not reading the same things that I was reading as I was before. Yep. And that was a major eye-opening moment for me when I finally figured that out as to how, when I am going down a negative path, how do I write it because I'm doing something differently than I was before.
Oh, yeah. And then there's times when you're doing the exact same thing.
And losing. Yeah.
You're losing, but there's times you're doing the exact same thing and can't lose. You get on that heater, like the NBA playoffs. It was one of those ones. And from the book's perspective, you're doing the same damn thing every day. And you go, the guy comes in and have the meeting. Why we lose? Favorites won, game went over again. Move the number. I tried. They keep betting it. It doesn't matter. In fact, point spreads are stupid. My 9-year-old told everybody in the world, and she was right. It didn't matter what we made the point spread. They were still covering. Or the dog would just win outright. So now, what do you do with the sides? You lose. What do you do with the totals? Well, we used it as low as we could. We went to 214. They still bet us under. Why don't you make it lower? Because it would have been the lowest total in the history of the NBA Finals. Use it lower. Okay, we used 211. It went under. What do we do? Well, it went under again. Yes, everybody knows that every time the Heat were playing, it was going under. Can't help it. What am I going to do? So
and no matter what the number
is hard. It was just because one of those things.
Put the number down. That's where not that I feel for bookmakers, but the NBA is a prime example. It was either the dog won outright or it was a blowout and the favorite won easily. You put the line at 10, 11, 12. Well, the problem is that's when the dog covers. And all of a sudden, everyone on the pro side comes in and you're like, I have to make the number 12. Well, then all the money comes on the under and the game goes under and you're screwed. They win by 10 and you're screwed and you've lost. That's where you see that process of you can't make the number what it should be, because if you, by that happenstance, you put it too high, now you're going to get beat on both ways by trying to play defense and getting beat on both sides of it. So it's
instead of a meeting, you're having an exit interview because you get fired. That's the problem. So it's a balancing act. Taking the bets ain't that easy all the time. So, yeah, the process is great, and I can't wait because I know I'm here in Arizona, and my feed has been just cluttered with nonsense.
Mass is bad. I've heard
it's just you can't even open it up because everything is a promoted tweet for this book, that book, this offer, this. I showed Jessica. She's like, "Well, how do you block that?" I said, "I don't know."
No, you can't because you in your Twitter bio you're mentioning gambling. Like anything you do, you're A1. You can't block it. They got you. They know. I have not been back in my home state since they legalized. On Tuesday, I land. I cannot wait to see what I get when I land, how aggressively they come after me. Because I already have a DraftKings account. I don't have a FanDuel Massachusetts account. I have a WinBet Arizona account, not a Mass account. I can't wait to see what they're going to come at me with.
You're gonna get them all. It'll take one day of you being there talking, whatever.
Yep.
And
Tweeting.
then the phone spies on you, and then
Right.
you're inundated with these things in your feed, and it's so aggressive that it's uncomfortable. Like, I know the difference, but I know that if my kids were 22 and getting these things and were bored, they'd go, "You know what? I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do this today." Like, I know who they're targeting, and they're winning in that regard.
I'm going to try if I can. I don't know if it's going to fit or not, but my brother lives in Western Mass, in Springfield, the BetMGM book out in Springfield. I'm very tempted to go out to check out that book to see what it looks like at MGM Springfield.
It's probably going to look like the book here in Glendale looks like by the stadium. It's going to be like a restaurant.
Oh,
the book, similar. They're kind of doing that.
Okay.
And they're trying to take that at different places. So it's not a sports venue. I mean, like, it's not in the stadium in Glendale. It's across the street. But it's the BetMGM branded sports book. The food is meh. It's, and the book's right there. It's just, think of Chicky and Pete's. Chicky and Pete's is our Vegas model for what's going on around the country.
6-1, bottom 7, bases loaded, 2 outs. Pirates trying to make it a game here against the Cubs. See if they can score any runs here. The over did come in with Toronto in Miami, so I got that right today. Over again. Alcantara's totals. Alcantara, the books have not adjusted. They're making it 7. It's wrong. It should not have been 7. His ERA, home or road, when he is starting,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. He's been borderline awful this year. So Toronto's up 6-3. That game is 9, so that game's gone over. And I've got a Houston top of the first just started against the Mets. The Mets are threatening with 2 on and 2 outs, top of the first. I've got a first 5 going there. First 5 run line for the Houston Astros at home against the Mets. Oh, they got out of it. So 0-0. That's good. So end of 1. So we'll watch those a little bit for us as well. So it's time for Ohtani Watch, and this is going to make all Angel fans really happy because he's not going anywhere, Dave. They are not trading him. The GM said it yesterday, highly unlikely to trade Shohei Ohtani if they remain in playoff contention this summer, which they most likely will. He did not unequivocally vow to not trade Ohtani, who is going to be an unrestricted free agent coming up this offseason, but he did say that it would take a lot for them to do it. He said, quote, "It's pretty self-explanatory with where we are in the standings," saying that, look at, we're right here. We're 41-34. We are leading the American League for wild card spots, trailing the Texas Rangers by 5 games for the division. There were 9 games back just 2 weeks ago. Ohtani turns 29 next month. 295, an OPS over 1, 24 home runs, 58 RBIs. On the mound, he's the MVP, the 2002 runner-up for the MVP and the AL MVP in 2021. 6-2, 3.29 ERA, 105 strikeouts, 6th most in the majors, while his opposing batting average of 178 is the best in the bigs. Right call?
There's no chance you want to be the guy that trades Shohei Ohtani to save some money when they're going to be the season that they can make the playoffs. I don't think it's a no-brainer. If I got to go down and I got to worry about, being a shoe salesman after this, I'm never going to get another job if I'm the guy that traded him. Even if the Angels win a World Series in 5 years, I ain't going to be the GM. It ain't going to happen. So,
Fair.
no. It's easy. If they're losing, we can have the discussion. They have a winning record. We'll see 1 month from now, right? When we get to that July 31st trade deadline, we'll know exactly where they stand, in or out.
I mean, they got to go bad, do they not, though? I mean, for them not to be even in the conversation, to be so far out of it that you would trade Shohei, they got to – I mean, it's got to be like a
10-game losing streak. Right?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
They're a 10-game losing streak or a 3-11 stretch in 2 weeks where they lose, they're 8 games under 500 and the rest of the division plays better than 500 baseball and there's a big swing. I mean, I'm watching it right now with the Pirates. It's an 8-game losing streak. It might end the season for them. If this continues, and these other teams, thank goodness, aren't too far ahead of them. But, I mean, Texas is rolling. Texas isn't going anywhere.
6-3 Cubs. Here, the remaining schedule, July 15th, is it the trade deadline, right?
31st.
July 31st trade deadline. Okay, so here are the remaining series between now and
the All-Star break. What do we got?
The All-Star break is which day?
The 11th, July 11th. I think the game's the 13th.
Oh, okay. So you want it because July 8th, it goes into July 8th is when.
Okay,
so
that's fine
for them. So they play another game today against the Dodgers.
Dodgers, right?
At the Rockies.
Should take 4 game there.
4-gamer against the White Sox at home.
Take minimum 2, so that's 5. Okay.
3 at home against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
That's a tough series.
3 on the road to San Diego.
That's a tough series.
And then 2 on the road at LA before they hit the 8th.
They go back to play the Dodgers?
Yep. At the end. They come out of the
All-Star break.
Then the All-Star break. They come out of the All-Star break, and this is where things might get dicey for them up until the 30th. They play a 3-game set against Houston at home. A 3-game set against the Yankees at home. 3-game set against the Pirates at home.
It's a 9-game homestand?
9-game homestand. And then they play
5 of those.
At Detroit for 3. At Toronto for 3. And then at the Braves on the 31st of July.
Wow. We'll know. As of right now, what is today? June 20th? June 21st.
June 21st, yep.
21st. They're not trading them. As of July 21st, they might be trading.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I in order for them to trade Ohtani, they're going to have to be so bad, and I don't think they're going to be so bad over the next month.
He's staying. He ain't going nowhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
He ain't going nowhere. I don't think he's going nowhere even after. They're going to unload and just keep him. And Trout together for the next 5 to 10 years.
The Astros are 40-34. The Blue Jays are 40-35. The Red Sox are 39-35. Mariners are 35-36. Okay.
Yep.
Well, and then you even include the Guardians if you want in there. But you have 3 spots: Orioles, Yankees, Angels, currently occupying those wildcard spots. I mean, they're not going to be 6 games, 7 games behind the wild card. I don't see it. I mean, they're not going to go. They're playing 550 ball right now. They are 7 games over 500. To be 10 games under 500 by the trade deadline. Don't see it. Don't see it. You want to go to lap pool?
Yeah. They do all these activities. It's great. They get everybody involved. All the kids get involved.
Oh, that's nice.
Tried to get me to do a duck race yesterday. They blow up duckies and have to push the duck to the end of the pool.
What is the frozen T-shirt relay?
Free otter pops if you win.
Arizona things. What is an otter pop? I don't know.
It's a frozen like a frozen icy stick. cut off the top and
Oh, one of those
squeeze it.
things. Oh yeah,
They call
yeah.
that an otter pop.
What
Yeah,
do we call those ices. Yeah.
yeah, whatever they
Those
are.
are ices.
Kids call it.
It is time for the Brigade Proxy Service NFL story of the day.
I love this segment.
Before we do that, let me tell you what we did yesterday. We had a chance to go and meet a dude from Boston. Came
Look
on
at that
in.
guy.
One of
Hi,
our guys
Jay.
came in, was good.
Yeah.
He is a New Englander. It was fun to hang out. He's wearing a Connecticut Suns
You know,
jersey.
what is that?
He's wearing a Connecticut Suns
Where did we
jersey.
get that? What the hell?
So, yeah. So, other than that, it was, Jay, I love you, bud. It was good to hang out with you. It was good to spend some time with you and just talk about sports and talk about what's going on in Boston and whatnot. So it was cool to get down there last night to get him signed up for the Circa Million. He's super excited about his first time running that. So that's going to be a lot of fun on this. So DraftKings currently has the Patriots at even money to land DeAndre Hopkins.
Right?
Do you buy any of these markets? Because Vegas does not put these markets up. So, like, this feels like a guess to me.
Oh, it's 100% a guess. Absolutely. Yeah, it's 100% a guess.
Is it trying to get Patriot money to come in to get people to bet it? Like, what is, like, who is betting this? Who is betting the market for DeAndre Hopkins as to where he winds up going?
Nobody.
Okay.
I mean, this is a media-driven market. This is great to talk about. Nobody's betting this. Anyone that is, usually, I mean, it's a lot of small stakes. You keep the limits low. It's fun. Okay, that's great. I give them credit for trying to put it up. Maybe they'll take some bets. Maybe they won't. I don't know. There's no harm in putting it up if you manage it right. The harm in putting it up is that other people may copy it and then it'd be wrong. It's guessing. It's 100% guessing.
So what are the limits of this? $50?
It depends. I mean, probably a lot of offshore places it's 100. Maybe it's $50 at DraftKings. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, the Bills are plus 350. The Titans are plus 400. Patriots are even money. I mean, they feel pretty strongly that the Patriots are going to land DeAndre Hopkins, even though he left their facility without getting a deal done.
Wait, did they mention the Browns? Where are the Browns?
The Browns aren't really a part of this. He's not going to the Browns. They don't have the money. The Browns don't have the money to pay him. They're pretty much locked up salary cap wise.
Wow. All right. I don't know. Do I believe it? No, I never did. I never do. I like to watch these things and go, oh, that's fun. That's a great thing. I would never bet it, and I would never want to book it. Thank God. Reason number 4.1 million. Why I'm glad I'm not in the book. I have to put this crap up. No, I don't want to even. I don't know. I'm glad we're doing the Brigade Proxy Service segment and every day and talking about football at least for 5 minutes. Do you want him on the Patriots?
Of course. Do I want him on the Patriots? What? Of course I want him on the Patriots. Of course. Yes.
This guy wants the ball, man. If he don't get the ball, it kind of causes problems.
He'll get the ball a lot. Bill O'Brien will give him the ball. Yeah, he'll get the ball a lot. Yeah, in a variety of different ways. Hopkins will get the ball. 10 targets a game minimum.
They run the ball a lot.
They do, but they'll play action. But do you know that Mac Jones has one of the highest completion percentages in football on play action?
This is what he does.
He's unbelievable at play action football. You need a threat. You run the ball, and then you got Hopkins one-on-one against the safety. Bam.
Right.
And that's the Patriot offense. That's what they want to run. When Mac Jones was when he was a Pro Bowler, that's what they did. That's what the Patriot offense was built upon, was all on play action. He is way better than when he drops back and on throwing downs, Mac Jones is not great. Like 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7, they know you're passing. Not great. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, not bad. Not bad. The chat wants to know how many Otter Pops are you going to consume before the drive home?
So what we're going to do is a frozen t-shirt relay.
I don't know.
What the hell is a frozen t-shirt relay?
Frozen t-shirts, of course.
I'm guessing they have the Frozen T-shirt and they have the
Like a legitimately Frozen T-shirt,
yeah, I don't know.
like rolled up in a ball.
Yeah. Frozen. Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
That's tremendous.
Very ambitious. These two girls that have been here all week in charge of the activities are perfect. They're doing a hell of a job, trying their best to get the people involved. It's 103 degrees out right now. I burned the bottom of my feet walking on the part of the cushion.
Can you see that? Right? I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
What is that?
83 degrees.
Oh, it's hot as hell here now.
It's 83.
Oh, no. Yeah, we're not doing that here.
You're going to get a 20-degree difference in temperature when you guys get up here.
That's great. I can't wait.
It's a completely different. I mean, we're only 4 hours away, but a completely different situation.
Yeah.
You know.
So I don't know about the otter pups. I don't know. I'll ask on the way out, but if they're in the middle of it, I don't know. They just texted me and said, "Are you done with the show?" I said, "I haven't texted them back because I can't touch the thing. We got about 15 minutes left, right? And then we're done."
Oh yeah,
Is that all right? Oh yeah, we're good.
13, 14 minutes.
All right,
I don't. This is so strange. People that are now texting me with area codes that I don't know,
Really?
saying, "I'm landing in Vegas today. I'll be in Vegas till Sunday.
Yeah.
You want to go out? You want to hang out?"
Oh.
I don't know who you are. Not on my phone. I don't know who you are. And I feel really bad saying, "Who is this?" whenever somebody says that.
Don't feel bad. Ask if you don't
know.
I mean, only because your situation is different in 2023 than it has been for a while. I don't know how to tell you this, but and you keep posting pictures, you and Jay, and the first thing that people notice is like, damn, Perrault's in good shape, man. I mean, even your legs look skinnier. So there might be somebody sending you these texts like they want to hang out. There might be a title shot. You didn't even have a fight scheduled. You know what I'm saying? I'm just,
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't
Brigade Proxy Service, get back on task.
Sign up.
Email at Brigade Proxy on Twitter. Brigade Proxy is at gmail.com to send us an email just to register, sign up, tell us when you're coming in, be a part of it. It should be a lot of fun for us on this. It's all right. 10 more minutes and you're done. We discussed this. Can I hear you? You turned everything down.
Muted no. I muted the mic.
Oh, okay.
I can mute the mic while you're talking.
Oh,
and she's talking. So I can hear you and the crowd and the audience can hear you.
Oh, good.
And then when I talk again, I'll hit the mic.
All right. So we discussed this yesterday. So BetMGM made the announcement today that they are officially closing the book at the Great American Ballpark, and they are moving the book to a location closer to people into Cincinnati, where they will have a new sports book on the corner of 2nd Street and Joe Nuck's Hallway. No clue where that is, but it's going to have a Fourth Nation kitchen, bar, and restaurant, which will be open to patrons of all ages. It will be open for 365, and they will have a 21 plus area for kiosks and windows to be open for sports betting, as well as having TVs. Are we already seeing the idea that having a book at a facility, ballpark, stadium is a bad idea?
Told these people it was a bad idea 5 years ago. I've been saying it the whole time since. Ain't nobody been listening. All they got to do is reach out to @SportsBK or @SportsTalkMatt. They can come on the show. We'll let them tell us on the show why it's a good idea, and I will tell them why it's not. And you will be my hype man and say, you know what? He might know some shit. I'm just saying. He might not. I don't know. It's a bad idea. Okay? It's great on game day. It's awesome. And even then, on game day, say there's 30,000 people at the ballpark, how many people bet? 10%, right? 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, how many of them are going to go to the ballpark sports book to hang out when they're with their family or they're with their kids or this or that? Maybe a third of them. It's a small number of people that need to do this. Now, you knew this as well as I knew this about the story at Great American Ballpark, because I was just at Great American Ballpark.
You told us.
And I went and asked.
Yeah.
And I said, how's it going? And he's like, they're moving. What do you mean they're moving? Well, there's nobody here. Nobody comes. The guy working at the book, writing the tickets, closes the book when the game starts and goes down and sells hats and T-shirts and jerseys the rest of the day. I was like, wow, that's really stinks. And it's not even a full-time job then. He said, no, it's not a full-time job. The food better be good, Perrault. Joe Nuxhall. Do you know who Joe Nuxhall was? Joe Nuxhall was great historical Reds, I think, announcer. I don't know if he ever played for the team, but Joe Nuxhall was, I believe, an announcer for a long time in Cincinnati. Put it in the chat. You know.
Last week, WCPO Channel 9 in Cincinnati reported that BetMGM was looking to move on with the Greater American Ballpark, noting it was the only retail sportsbook in Ohio that was not profitable. According to revenue reports from the Ohio Casino Control Commission, the sportsbook took a net loss of over $8,000 from January through April. Additionally, the sportsbook was the site of the highly publicized scandal tying betting to the University of Alabama that got the head coach of Alabama fired. That's where that's where the bets were placed. So sort of a win-win to kind of move away from all of this and get away from it and kind of start clean. I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to reiterate this, and anybody who works for Hooters or Twin Peaks or TGA Fridays, if I have a multiple site location with a brand that is not resonating with younger people, I am putting a sports book in my plans or renovations or whatever. I am building a 21 plus betting area for every property in a legalized state in America. Every Hooters, every Twin Peaks, every TGI Fridays, every Olive Garden, all of them. I am doing that as much as possible in order to have, because bars are 21 plus. Dave kicked himself out. You kicked yourself out. You kicked yourself out there for a second.
I
know, but you got kicked out though. You came back in. You kicked out. But I mean, what bars have always been when you go to a TGI Fridays is a bar, and oftentimes you got to be 21 to sit at the bar. So why couldn't you have a betting area, a kiosk area, a book set up in all of these properties that serve food?
You don't need it. Everybody has the app. Why do you need a physical location? What is the benefit?
Kiosks.
You can watch the game together.
But some people don't
need a physical location.
Some people don't want the record. Some people they want the physical ticket. They don't want the record.
You understand this now because you've been doing this. This is way better.
They don't want,
no doubt.
So there are people who don't. People don't want the record. They don't want the tracking. They don't want Apple knowing. They don't want anyone knowing where they are, where they place the bet, or who they bet on. They don't want that transaction because every time you hit accept and you download an application and you accept the terms and conditions, no one reads the fucking thing. No one reads it. They all just say yes. And inside the terms and conditions, it lists, we get to know everything about you. We get to mine your data, your health data, your location, how often you take a dump in the morning. Like we get to know everything. And we all accept this. So if you're someone who bets a lot, someone who doesn't want your tracking, you don't want the books and or other people to know, wives, ex-wives, whomever, as to what you're doing, the paper ticket's better. There's no one knows.
Way better. Listen, I'm in favor of it because it creates real jobs for people writing the tickets, the supervisors, the people that got to be in charge of the TVs. I love the physical book location for the right reasons, but I saw it here. It happens here. The books here are spectacular, some of them. They're empty 300 days a year. They're busy 65 days a year. The other 300, they're ghost towns, unless there's some big story or major event in town and it trickles in, okay? But, like, I've worked at some of the biggest joints in town. There's a lot of days where you're like, man, I could light a bomb off in here and nothing would happen. It wouldn't get anybody. We could shoot arrows through here and it would catch 2 or 3 strays. Like, that's it. There's nobody in here. Those are long days. We were down here in Arizona. There's a couple places I might swing by and take the kids out before we leave to Weekapaw. I want to show them where it is, what it is, because it's a nice place to come and get away.
Right.
And it has a sports book. And that restaurant we ate at was good.
I
thought we had a good meal there.
Yeah.
And we can go in there. So
Oh, I'd stay
don't
there. I would stay
know.
there. I mean, I thought that place was awesome. That's exactly what I like. Golf, easy, good food. Let's go. I'm in.
And away from stuff with a
Yeah.
nice. I mean, it was very nice.
Yeah.
So, I think. I mean, there's a lot of different things that the industry is going to go through. This is one of them. They're going to rush to put books in places, and then the people that did those deals are going to move on to greener pastures and cash out. And the people that are coming in are going to go, wait a second, let's look at the reports. 1 year. Why are we not doing any business here? What? Let's change this. And they're going to change some marketing thing, and they're going to try to people to get to go, and it's not going to work. And they're going to do what you said then. They're going to go to established brands and say, wait a second, a Hooters / Buffalo Wild Wings / BetMGM Sportsbook would be a great partnership. That's what's going to happen next.
And it should happen. I mean, again, Hooters is a dying brand that needs a refresh, that needs some new blood to go in there. I mean, if I was, and I get it, it's a Southern company. There's some uncomfortable. I've read about it saying that there's some people who are higher ups at Hooters. They're uncomfortable with gambling. Like they're fine with tits, but they're not comfortable with gambling. Sure, okay, whatever.
Doesn't make sense, right? A little bit. Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense.
No sense.
It's like,
No sense.
hey, we're looking. Lost Dave again. Hold on. You're
Stop
back.
touching stuff.
I'm not doing it. You're doing it.
All right. No, I didn't do anything.
You get kicked out, come back in. Kicked out, come back in. I don't know.
All right, we're good.
But I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's a weird deal. Hooters people getting mad at us. It's just strange to me that like they're not. You put young women in very scantily closed orange, weird looking shorts, and then you'll say, okay, we can't do gambling. Look, we're just not cool with gambling. Okay, sure,
Right.
whatever. But that's what I would do if I own Twin Peaks, if I own Hooters, if I own any type of brand that is not resonating with younger people. I would try very hard to figure out different ways of getting them in and using sports betting as a way to get a 24-year-old into my establishment to hang out longer times, watch a game, make a bet, blah, blah, blah. But you're right. The phone for young people, definitely, they've not figured out the paper ticket thing yet. They will at some point. As the more that they bet, they'll figure it out and they'll realize that, okay, let's, because it kind of goes right.
Wait till they figure out the credit thing.
Well, that
the guys offer betting on credit.
Well, the problem is this. Young people, NFL players among them, young people, don't realize that you're tracked. You're tracked always. Your phone is a walking beacon. It's a tracking mechanism for everything you're doing, where you go, what you do, how often. It's literally a digital record of your life. The NFL has no desires to change their policy whatsoever, even though the PA is asking them to wait a minute, can guys bet at the facility? And the NFL is saying, no, we like the ability that when you're on our Wi-Fi, we mine all your data. And we know everywhere you're going. We know what you're on, what site you're on, and where you're doing it from. So
fair or foul?
I think it's fair because you're telling them ahead of time. So it's not
just draw the line and stick to it. That's where I'm at with it.
It's not clandestine for that reason.
Now when we're on the road, now I can't do it. I'm at the team hotel, I can't do it. We're starting to extend a little bit where I know if we're at the facility, it's out. I don't even want to even look at the stuff. I won't even bother. I'm good while I'm at work. But then a lot of conversations at work say, hey, did you see the point spread of the game, the other division? That's pretty crazy. Well, now I'd like to bet that. If I can't, I'm here. I got to wait till I get home when the number's gone. Who knows the conversations that will go on. I just think if you tell them ahead of time, that's step number one. Now the enforcement thing is step number two, right? You got to really monitor this. And because every loophole in the world, we both have kids. They'll find ways around it, right? They'll find ways around it.
100%. 100% they'll find ways around it. It's true. This will be a quick one for Better Division because the games all are underway at the moment. So let's tell you what I've got. I have the Houston Astros first 5 run line, 2-0, bases loaded, top second for the Mets. Astros leading in the second straight inning. Javier's big trouble. He got out of it up first. Not sure he's going to get out of it here in the top of the second with the bases loaded. So that's one bet. I have the Cubs on the money line it's 8-3 now. Chicago's going to give the Pirates their 9th straight loss. Sorry.
It is what it is. I mean, I got to go to Miami and shake it off. That's it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
And then I bet the over on the Marlins game that hit. So as of right now, I could go 3-0 on my bets in Major League Baseball for the day today. The only other play that I'm thinking about making, once we find out about Paul Skeens for the LSU Tigers, if he's not pitching, I will bet Wake Forest at -145, betting it or booking it.
There you go.
Now I have I have a half a unit bet at plus 450 on LSU to win the whole thing.
So you have to bet this. And like Butchie's watching, deuces to you down there. I know you're an LSU guy too. He's getting mad. Said, be careful talking about the people in the South because they bet too. They do gamble. But,
they do.
They
gamble
they
a ton,
careful
just illegally.
Right. Yeah, they got to be right. Exactly. They got to be careful who they align themselves with company-wise. This would be a good baseball game. I'll be on the road probably listening to it. Or
tonight.
Or hopefully home in time to watch the middle innings to the end. This would be a good one to watch. I'd say bet this.
I think the winner of this game wins the national championship.
Oh.
Florida's the only other team I've seen. Florida's the only other team that could be in the conversation. But LSU with their arms can beat Florida. They beat Florida this year. And then Wake Forest with their arms can beat Florida as well. So I think I said it pre-tournament. The winner of that side of the bracket was winning the whole thing. I still think that. And I think Wake Forest and LSU, I think these two teams are going to battle tonight. If Wake wins, I think Wake very well could win the national championship. They've been the number one team all year. I hope it's LSU just because I think they're an awesome story. And I like for my friends in Omaha, the bar tabs are way better with LSU in town than with Wake Forest. No offense, Demon Deacons. I don't know how much you guys drink, but no one drinks like the Cajuns. Nobody does what they do. They're fun to do. Favorite thing about today as we wrap your Arizona experiment?
This is good.
3 days, by the way. I can't believe this. Three days from the hotel. It's pretty good.
We'll be able to take the show on the road. Well, now the next big project will be you to show me how to be the host while you're in Boston, and I can host the show.
Oh, that's a horrible idea. I'll show you.
And you're on remote. Is it bad?
Oh no! If I'm on the show, I'm hosting. I'll always drive it.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm on, we're driving. Like Tuesday, we can't do it because I'm in the air. I leave I fly at 9:30 in the morning, and I'm it's the whole day. So Tuesday we can't do the show, but then Wednesday, Thursday we'll be able to do the show.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
I know we can do one show for sure when I'm in Boston. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if we can do. I'm trying to figure out Friday because I want to do Roll Call Friday. So I'm trying to figure that out still on that.
You can go sit in one of the books like this and do it like that from on location and test it. I don't know. Maybe.
How fast are you on? Because you're on your phone.
I'm just on my phone. I'm just on a regular. I'm not on.
Yeah, I need my computer.
I don't know if I'm on Wi-Fi or nothing.
No,
I understand.
You're on the service. You're on 5G service.
Yeah, I am.
What you're on.
I am. Yeah.
That's really fast. I will need to be on Wi-Fi, which could be problematic. At my house, it's no problem. I can just tap into my house and do it. I'll do it from my house in Andover. That's easy. That's easy. The Friday show could be in Maine, and that might be a little bit of a weird one. But we
pulled it off. My favorite thing about today is that day number 3, we pulled it off. Different locations here at the resort. The Canyon Villas next to the JW Marriott down at Desert Ridge in Phoenix has been great. Got to spend some time with my family and all my 3 daughters, my other 5 nephews and nieces, my 2 sisters, my 1 brother. Brother Dan didn't make the trip this time. This is his busy time of the year. He couldn't come, but it's been awesome. And now I get to drive home, and I put on my travel hat. You asked me before if I have something that's a slump buster or anything like this. You guys might see me on Twitter at SportsBK and say, this has become my travel hat. Wherever I go, it's the Harlem Globetrotters Baby Blue edition. I always put that in. I took it to Arizona when we did the shows down here. I took it back east. I took it to see Brother Doug. I took it to Seattle. I wear it on the plane to and from. This is like my guardian thing. This is my comfort thing. When I'm traveling, this is the travel hat. So Globetrotter hat on. We're headed out for a quick bite to eat, kiss Grandma goodbye, say hello and goodbye to my nephews and nieces that are leaving. The ones that are staying, we're saying goodbye to them too. It's been a long few days. And then we're out back on the road there to Las Vegas. Favorite thing about today.
Couple of quick things. First, Florida's up 2-1 on TCU. That game in the bottom of the third. That's the double elimination tournament. If Florida wins, they go to the championship round. They'll knock out TCU. TCU's 2-1. Florida's 2-0. So must-win game for TCU. 8-3 right now. 3 runs in for the Mets now. 3-2. So I may have jinxed that a little bit. The Mets got 3 runs off Javier. Need the Astros to score 3 more runs themselves to be up. Oh no, I guess 4-3. So I had 2 more runs here for the Astros to sweep it. Otherwise, it's a 2-1 day for me. Betting baseball on that. The breaking news before we go: Shams is reporting. The Wizards, Celtics, and Clippers are on strong talks for a trade that would send Kristaps Porzingis to the Celtics, Marcus Morris in draft compensation to the Washington Wizards, and Malcolm Brogdon to the LA Clippers. Sides are working through the details as well as Porzingis' $36 million player option.
Porzingis to the Celtics?
We're getting the. I mean, the one thing about Boston is they are so on brand for the white guys in the NBA, man. Like,
what in the hell?
I love this. Porzingis to the Celtics. Are you serious? This would be unbelievable.
The boy can't stay healthy.
If he stays healthy, though, there's your
Don't
inside.
get me a dog if I'm you. He ain't a dog.
He can be. Porzingis can be really good. He can be really, really good. I like that trade. I like that trade a lot. All you're giving up is Malcolm Brogdon, and you're getting Kristaps Porzingis? You serious? Oh, yeah. Robert Williams in the middle, Porzingis at the 4, Brown and Tatum, and Marcus Smart at the 1. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm in. Let's go.
Going to score 150?
Yes.
You're going to be like Phoenix. Ain't nobody playing no defense.
NBA's not about defense anymore. Robert Williams plays defense. He's your rim protector. You got Robert Williams to block shots. He's your guy.
He's got to score 150.
I love it.
Thinking about making the totals. Oh
Sports Grid, thank you so much. We'll back tomorrow. Dave will be back in Vegas tomorrow. If you guys get live on YouTube and Twitter as well, we appreciate it. We will talk to you for a